Let's just jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating shift happening in the tech space right now. We're going to look at why the entire tech world is buzzing about a decentralized network that is literally taking on big tech. It's a system called Bittensor, and we're exploring exactly how it fits into this massive wave that people are calling the AI Supercycle. But to really get why this matters, we have to look at the landscape right now. I mean, we've all felt the frustration, or at least heard the massive complaints, about trying to get your hands on the hardware you need to actually build AI. As our sources point out, whether you're trying to grab Mac Minis, Mac Studios, or those high-end GPUs to build something cool, you hit a massive brick wall. You literally can't find them because these crucial components are sold out practically everywhere. And look, this isn't just some minor inconvenience, right? It's a massive structural barrier. This global hardware shortage is actively locking everyday creators and independent developers completely out of an unprecedented AI boom. Our sources highlight that it is a really rough time to be on the internet if you aren't tapped into AI, mostly because the tech is advancing at an absolutely staggering rate. Simply put, if you can't get the compute power, you just can't participate. Which brings us to Section 1, the Bittensor incentive machine, and how it's solving this massive AI bottleneck. So to crack those doors back open, we need to look at the heartbeat of Bittensor's ecosystem, subnets. Just imagine 128 different companies, all operating like hungry AI startups, all fiercely competing for a piece of the pie. Some might be profitable right now, some might not be, but they are all laser-focused on solving very specific real-world problems. And the way they crack the code is through this fascinating hyper-capitalist loop. Here's how it works. Step 1, these startups define a specific AI task. Step 2, solvers from all over the planet jump in and compete to figure it out as efficiently as possible. Step 3, whoever brings the absolute best solution to the table wins lucrative token rewards. And finally, step 4, because of this relentless competition, the underlying AI model becomes incredibly competitive. Basically, money incentivizes the brightest minds on Earth to build the best tools. It's that simple. Let's move to Section 2, Real-World Subnet Successes, or what is basically a David versus Goliath scenario. Because this isn't just theory anymore, guys. These subnets are actively taking on legacy giants as we speak. Take a subnet called RECE, backed by some major funds. Their whole task was to build the absolute strongest real estate appraisal model out there. Now, the legacy giant in this space, Zillow, has an accuracy of about 95%. But RECE, by topping into this global, decentralized competition, built a model with a 98.69% accuracy rate. They literally beat Zillow just by crowdsourcing global intelligence. How wild is that? And in another huge breakthrough, we have Subnet 4. They run an incentivized compute marketplace powered by the Target virtual machine. Well, they recently co-authored a paper with Intel, where they actually cracked the code on decentralized encryption. This is a massive deal. It means governments, hedge funds, or really anyone with super sensitive data can finally use decentralized GPUs safely without any fear of leaks. Even Intel went out of their way to highlight just how important this development really is. Then you've got Subnet 3, also known as Templar. Get this. For months, what they were trying to achieve was deemed practically impossible by the math. But on March 10th, they successfully pulled off a massive 72 billion parameter large language model run. It was such a landmark moment for open source AI that the biggest names in the industry turned their heads. The CEO of Anthropic called it highly interesting, and NVIDIA's Jensen Huang openly praised it, saying that more open source development is a massive win for the whole industry. This sets up Section 3 perfectly. Open source versus closed AI, the ultimate philosophical battle. You see, all this recent praise highlights a huge divide in the tech world. As our sources neutrally point out, closed-source AI companies, think OpenAI, can raise a mountain of cash super fast. But their models? They're kept completely private, highly centralized, and tightly controlled by a select few. Open-source AI, on the other hand, well, it might start a little slower, but it ultimately taps into the combined brain power of the entire planet. The argument here is that just like how Linux and the internet eventually took over through open source methods, AI is going to follow that exact same path, because a decentralized world will always innovate faster than a few guys in a closed room. And the source material captures this gatekeeping mentality just perfectly. When talking about Anthropic's teased model, Claude Mythos, they highlight this growing public fear of centralized control. The feeling is that these massive corporations are hoarding the absolute strongest, most potent AI purely because they don't trust the public. Or, as the source playfully sums up the corporate mindset, because we don't trust you feeble humans, we'll just keep it to ourselves. Well, Bittensor's founder completely rejects that closed-off mindset. To fuel their open-source alternative, the network is hunting for some serious power. Think about this for a second. Bitcoin mining uses roughly the same amount of electricity as the entire country of Poland. Our source poses a brilliant question here. Instead of letting all that electricity and all that stranded computing talent just go to waste once mining is down, what if we completely redirected that immense, raw power into the open-source AI race? It's like a giant puzzle piece falling right into place. And the really beautiful thing? That redirected energy isn't just going towards building basic chatbots. Nope. These incentive mechanisms are being rolled out across countless subnets to optimize a wild variety of tasks. We're talking subnets that reward people for data storage, for model inference, for supercharging video compression, and even for assisting traditional prop firms like Vanta. Mathematically speaking, this incentive machine can be used to build a highly competitive model for pretty much anything you can think of. Okay, let's wrap up with Section 4, the ultimate supercycle trade. Trillions versus billions. So what does this all mean for the broader market? Why should we care? Well, the scale of this David versus Goliath battle is absolutely staggering. On one side, you have the magnificent 7 tech giants, your NVIDIAs, Microsofts, Googles, Apples, all pivoting hard into AI and trading at valuations in the multiple trillions of dollars. Against them, you've got Bittensor, this decentralized challenger, tapping into global brainpower, currently sitting at roughly a $3 billion market cap. The source's whole argument for its upside potential is entirely rooted in that massive, massive valuation gap. And prominent industry figures are definitely noticing this huge discrepancy and making some pretty bold predictions. As the source highlights, heavyweights like Barry Silbert believe this ecosystem could see some truly explosive growth. We're talking potentially 100 to 500 times its current valuation. And that's strictly because of how incredibly effective this incentive model is at breeding competitive technology. Which brings us to the end of this explainer, and it leaves us with the ultimate question to chew on as we ride this unprecedented AI supercycle. I mean, we've just seen how incredibly powerful decentralized incentives can be, right? Beating legacy models, cracking decentralized encryption. So looking ahead, who do we actually want holding the keys to the future of global intelligence? Are we going to leave it to a few closed-off massive corporations? Or will it be built, shared, and scaled by a decentralized world? It is an absolutely fascinating space, and we'll be watching it closely. Thanks for hanging out with me on this deep dive.